of equipment. It had 2 drums of cable, each of them about 9.5 feet across by 10 feet wide. These giant drums were stacked on top of each other right here. The big motor sit right here to run it. Our operator sat right there in this corner. Sitting that cable through this cutaway and up the side of the shaft, over the head wheel at the top, and right back down the center of it. This was all planned out, guys. Our train moves through here, bringing in the equipment. We can remove that man basket, and he can actually hook to the equipment like a crane, lifting it up to the floors, sitting onto another cart, and sending it in. All of our equipment that goes up above us, guys, came in through this shaft right here. If it was too big, we take it apart. We put it back together once we get it up there. We have a ladder here, guys, so if we were to ever lose power or anything like that happen, we still have a way to get back down. 650 feet of ladder, not fun, but if it meant an early Friday, I might take it. And of course, guys, we have some piping up here. That's how we get our compressed air and our water up through our floors to feed our miners, for our drillers. The most important thing, guys, that moves through this shaft, and you can almost feel it here, is air.
Yes.
Very important, guys. Before we push this shaft up and we drilled a vent tube out of Old 5, we relied on a mechanical machine to pipe our air in here to keep our oxygen levels up. Once we pushed it out and vented it, Mother Nature took back over, and she does a fantastic job. Any questions, guys?
Canaries.
No canaries up here. We're hard rock mines. We're not worried about gases here.
Okay.
Canaries are more back east in the coal mines. We're in that level where there's a lot of things breaking down, so we have a lot more gases over there. Over here, the worst thing we had to deal with, guys, is low O2, our oxygen levels. And the best way we took care of that is we watched our candles. A lot of times we sent our donkeys in, they went in ahead of us, and we put a donkey and a little candle on his head. We send that donkey in there, and if that candle blows out, we know there's not enough air.
Don't go there.
And the next thing we did is we kept an eye on our friends. Our friends who smoke are gonna get wheezier before the rest of us do. So we keep an eye on them.
Yeah.
When my partner who smokes has a hard time breathing, it's time for us to get some air back in here. And that's how we take care of that. And some yawning too.
Do you personally suffer at all from all the tours that you do with your lungs or?
I don't know. I mean, I know I quit smoking. I mined for over 10 years. When I quit mining is when I quit smoking because I have a little silicosis. I do have some, and that's still today. I mean, you'd think it's an old time thing. A lot of these people that are still, and you don't even have to work underground to get this anymore, guys. I mean, you can work in a shop around dusted, abrasive stuff like this and still collect this. I was a welder fabricator, and I have it. I have found this to be probably one of the most beneficial things for me. I come here, I get to talk to you guys loud, I work my lungs every day, they feel very good.
Good, the coldness doesn't bother you.
No,
Good.
it actually treats me very good.
Good.
I have noticed that once I've done these tours for a long time, I do have this very monotone level anymore. And I can't get rid of it, I've had it for about a year now.
It's not that bad.
It's not too bad. I sound like the guy in the movie titles, right? Size of a mountain. So guys, let's move on forward here. Let's look at some of the goodies that came out of here. You guys are more than welcome to come grab any of these rocks. Be careful because they are heavy, especially this big gold bar. That's about 80 pounds. Pick it up.
The Krylon Gold Bar.
Push it up off the table, just whoop, hey.
So guys, the old 100 gold mine here turned out to be a poor mine. They had less than 10,000 ounces of gold in this entire complex. Our best mines here in Silverton were pulling 10,000 ounces a week for over 40 years. Not much gold came out of here. But what did came out of here that kept the doors open, guys, was this right here. This is galena. Galena is a mineral and it's composed of about 90% lead, 10% silver, or 90% lead, 5% silver, 5% nickel. So this didn't have the value that the gold did, but this kept the doors open. We kept mining through all of our courts looking for gold, pulling out galena, making us paychecks. And we did this, guys, into the late 50s. When the late 50s came around, we started to know that our galena level was dropping. Still haven't found any more gold since 1880 up at top, or actually 1904. So we decided to sell the mine. That's when Dixie Lynn came in. Dixie Lynn came in and purchased this mine. Instead of working up there where they were, they came down here, accessed this whole mountain, pushing all these tracks in, spending over $13 million opening this mine up to work it, just to find out there's not a dollar worth of pay rock left. Them old timers emptied this mountain out and moved on.
Yep,
They're bad.
knew what they were doing.
Yep. So
Did you
guys,
see-
as we did that all by this beautiful little light right here on our candle.
Wow, there it is.
There's our pick light.
There it is.
And this is, guys, we used this light till about 1905, 1910, depending on the area. And just because we got power, guys, we didn't get lights down here. Our lighting, our power didn't come underground until the 40s due to our wiring. We had poor wiring. We had this beautiful new thing of electricity, but we had no way to harness it. It took us over 40 years to create insulation and casings for our wiring so we could bring it underground. So until then, guys, we mined by this beautiful light right here. This was our carbide lantern. You could put a little bit of carbide pellets in here, calcium carbide, which is a mineral. You put it in here, and when you put water on the top, that water would drip onto that calcium carbide, releasing acetylene gas. When we let that acetylene gas on fire, guys, it made a very bright white light. This was a game changer, guys. We went from swinging hammers by the candlelight to running this beautiful new air drill, looking at our partners in the face. This was a pivotal point for the mining industry. This was a point that they never thought could be surpassed. They thought they had reached a realm of excellency to send off into the future. And we worked like that with those beautiful little fires on our heads and our donkeys at our side until 1940s. In 1940, guys, we got our power down here. Once again, our world changed. We sent our donkeys back home, bringing in electric cars and motors, changing everything. And to this day, guys, you know how it is. Every month, something new's coming out. Better a battery. Now we got these beautiful little guys right here. In the 70s, we were carrying lights like this, and this is only good for about an hour. You have to bring about 12 or 13 of these in with you per guy, just to see. I got 70 hours worth of light in this little guy now. Every day we're getting better, guys.
Yeah.
That's not what they're telling us.
And guys, this right here, this is a time period, we call this a pie tin. It's my lunch pail. And this came originally from the Cornish. The Cornish are the ones that came over here and actually taught us to mine. Cornish were some of our first, the tin miners, zinc miners. They brought over this right here, the pie tin. It all separates out, this turns upside down, turns into a little plate. I don't think a lot of men use that. We just take right out of the tubs.
Can you show that?
Yeah, it comes apart just like this.
Interesting for the kids. Lunch pail.
Any candy in there for the kids?
Yeah, this will all come apart just like that. We can turn this over. Yeah, we can put sandwiches, some fruits, some vegetables in here, and the bottom is where we kept our goodies, our pictures of mom, some extra matches, things like that.
Yeah, they do that in Tulsa. Like the old version of the camping, you know, your camping kit.
Right,
Yeah.
there it is.
That's good, that's it.
Now, you want to do some blasting? If I show you how to do it, will you help me? That's what I always hear. Everybody's excited to do it, then I teach them about it, they don't want to. I need somebody to help me pump that over there so we can blast.
You can do it.
Let's go talk.
You can do it.
Let's talk about it.
It won't hurt you.
Pretty loud.
What we're gonna do right here is we're gonna push us a tunnel right here. And we wanna make a tunnel like that right there. About 4.5 feet wide, 5, 6 feet tall. That's all we need to get around. In order for us to do that, guys, this is where me and my partner would have came in and we drilled out all these holes, 30 holes in here. Took us 4 or 5 hours. Me and my partner get all of our holes drilled, and we go and we hang out back there around that corner where it's quiet, taking ourselves a little break. That was a lot of work. While we're taking a little break, our partners are in here, our material handlers, our powder handlers. Back in the day, we called this young guy a powder monkey, and he was only 13 years old. This young boy would come in here with this donkey, bring in black powder with him, guys, and he would scoop it and fill up these holes, packing them full of black powder. As he got them full, he'd put this little plug in here to keep the powder in there tight and dry. He'd spend a few hours filling up all 30 of these holes through here, and he always makes sure he leaves this one open for us. This one right here, guys, where everything starts. We're gonna set off these first 4. We're not gonna blow this all up at once. We're gonna do it in 12 little blasts, okay? And we're gonna start right here with these ones right here. These 4 are gonna go off. They're gonna collapse into this empty hole, making a big soft spot here 4 feet deep. Once we've done that, now we can set off these 2 up here, giving their energy a place to go, fracturing off this rock. Same thing with down here. Once we have this and we turn sideways, we're going to set off these 2, and we're going to set off these 2, moving in, and then we can start to jump around, going from side to side, a little work on our corners and our bottoms. 12 blasts. Guys, when we first started doing this, we did it by fuse. Not a fun thing. We know exactly how long it takes 1 inch of fuse to burn for. So then we can bring in our scale bar and start to measure out seconds of fuse. Not a fun job. They'd be very short here, and they would have got longer as they went around. And as that gentleman, the blaster, came in here, adjusting all of his fuses and his lines, I'm sure he started to contemplate his career choice. As he goes and he sits there and he looks at everything, says his prayer, he lights these fuses, and he runs for that corner to hide with the rest of his friends. Not a fun way to do this, guys. So 1920s come around, and we have this beautiful machine right here, which this allows me to make bad decisions from a distance with my friends. So instead of being right here at the face, I can now bring in what we call blasting caps. These are like little fuses, but instead of lighting them with fire, we use electricity. The electricity flows through these, and once it hits these, it starts little timers inside of these. We can have a lot of different ones. This one is a red one. Red one means it's good for 3 milliseconds.
How many?
3 milliseconds.
3 milliseconds.
3 milliseconds of a delay. So at that time, guys, we use from about 0 to about 15 milliseconds over here. So we have a bunch of these. We wire them all up together. One pump from there sends electricity through the wire into these, starting off each individual timer. These work fantastic, guys. Now we can come in here and we start right here with 0 milliseconds. And then we go 2s, 4s, 6s, 8s, 10, and 12. 12 milliseconds, we fracture this whole face, 4 feet deep, and it now sits here like a puzzle. We then set off 5 more larger ones in our bottom. We call these lifters. They pick up all this fractured rock, shove it up through the ceiling, over the top, and straight back down, fluffing it all up, breaking this material apart. Now we can get in here and handle it. When we do that, guys, this produces a bunch of dust. So we come in here and we're going to hose it down. That way we can see and move forward, giving us access to this nearly 4 tons of material. You guys ready? All right, let's do it. No? Hey, I told you we'd talk about it. You're going to help me. Well, I can explain it to you guys and everybody backs off. All right, I'll do it. You ready?
I'll give somebody a quarter. Who wants a quarter? Anybody want a quarter to do it? Just go push the handle. You want a quarter? No? Good? Good kids.
Make mommy do it.
Won't sell themselves
So
out
guys,
to the
like
dog.
this, ready? Boom!
Now you want a quarter?
Down to a nickel now.
So guys, we blast this, we create nearly 4 tons of material. We come back in here with our sledgehammers, breaking it up, loading it up, smaller stuff we can shovel up. Spend 3 or 4 hours loading all that up, guys. We walk it back down our tunnels, and in these older days, we have chutes. They're like bins that we can slide our material down. We dump it down there, it moves it down to the next level, so we can load it up nice and easy. Ready to go check one of those out?
Yes.
All right, guys, go check one of those out.
Oh, going that way.
That's what you said, that one little area.
Y'all go first in case I get stuck.
There, oh gosh, you go first.